when I start the 5-ounce silver coin project, I first start with the one of the America Beautiful 5-ounce coins. It's 3 inches in diameter. I take it out of the slab and I mount the coin inside this epoxy vise I have. This was the Yellowstone, and this is the design I did on the Washington portrait side of the coin. To hold the coin in the vise, I simply tighten it up. It's a 2-jaw chuck with epoxy milled out that fits exactly around this coin, and it closes in tight, fits the diameter exactly. When I work on the coin, I can either rotate it, I can tilt the table if I need to, and it also comes out of the chuck. There's a base chuck and it comes out. If I need to take it to another bench and work on it, I can do that. Here are some of the tools that I used to work on this coin. One is hammer and chisels. I make my own chisels. I use anywhere from a 12 to 16 ounce ball peen hammer. The chisels are M2 steel, hardened all the way back, but slightly softer towards the back. And I used to use a grinder, stone grinder, to sharpen these tools and grind the tools, but now I use a 6-inch belt, and because I can get that in various courses, like 220, 120, 180, 300, 400, I can do the kind of grinding I need to. And I keep water nearby when I grind the chisels so they don't get too hot. Of course, I use gravers. The gravers are great for detailing and feathers and things like that, fur on the animals. The lines here, I can either use the chisels or the gravers for that. A couple of things I like to do when I'm clearing the work so I can see after I make chips is a toothbrush. The other thing that's really great is a soft brass brush. For removal of stock on this, I start out with wider chisels and work my way down. Nice flat chisels like this are good for removing stock. Finer chisels are good for detail and lines. This is also good for marking out the design. And then I can go in with larger tools. One of the things people have asked me is, how do I get such a fine texture and so consistently? Well, yes, you can use a Graver Max if you want and put whatever point you want in there, but I'll show you a cheap method to do that. Here's a Dremel vibrating tool, and I've got a carbide tip in here. This is what I use to put these little tiny dots all through here, all around this edge here. Of course, you can use punches if you want. I mean, you can make little punches out of tool steel and harden them, but a reciprocating tool is a far better way to go. Many of the tools I use to work on my designs include sculpting tools. This is a sculpting tool. It's made out of tool steel. I harden it. I use these on plaster as well, but they're really great for working on coins. You can do a lot of pulling. Instead of pushing like a graver, you can pull. Now if you turn it over, you could plane with it if you wanted to. A lot of the tools I use are miniature tools, which I either mount in a handle. Some of these are high-speed steel, some of them are carbide. These are simply smaller versions of engraving tools and sculpting tools. And they're really great for working in tight spaces, and especially in eyes or making shapes of lips, getting into tight spots for removing material as well. You can also mount those tools if you have pin vices. Pin vices are really great for working on projects like this, because I can mount whatever little round tool I want to these. Sometimes some of them will accept little small square tools as well. But these are just miniature tools. It's amazing what you can do with these little tools. I did want to repeat the Engravers Bridge. This is an Engravers Bridge. Just take brass rod, make a loop out of it. This serves as a handle, but you can also use this flat area too. You put grooves in it, and it serves as a fulcrum. It gives you a lot of leverage when you want to engrave. If you saw the previous video, you saw how I was removing material with this bridge and engraver. For my punch work, I'll use a little jeweler's hammer and various punches. I make all my punches out of tool steel. You just grind them to the tip you want, or work them with gravers or flex shafts. And punches, in this case, some of the punch work was done in here, and in some of these little billowy cloud effects on the geyser. Of course, I am a fan of the flex shafts, and I like to use those. I use various holders. I do have a Graver Max. I use that occasionally, but I use these more often than not. I can put high-speed cutting burrs in here, and I can put carbide cutting burrs in here. I also make my own burrs out of carbide, and I sharpen them on a diamond wheel. For finishing, I use stones. They're diemaker and moldmaker stones in various grits. These are really great. You can sharpen them on a sanding belt or a grinding wheel, and you can get into really fine areas or broad areas with these stones if you want. When I sharpen my grinding stones, I even save the dust, because you can use this as a compound and use it, take a little oil and this dust, and can use it as a compound in finishing your coin if you want. When I finish my coin, I'll actually use, believe it or not, Sharpies sometimes. After I wipe it with alcohol, I'll go in with a Sharpie and I'll coat the whole thing. And then I'll use denatured alcohol and I'll wipe the whole thing, just leaving a little color. Then I'll go in with this stone grit, or even carbide grit sometimes, with a little brush, and I'll go over the whole thing. And then I'll wipe it down till I get the color the way I want it. When I want to highlight things, I'll use felt sticks. I can highlight areas of the design using a felt stick, and you can get these in soft or hard. For this wolf area and for this logo area, I actually use my pantograph machine. and for my little signature and date down here. And yes, this is 2011. This is the date that this project was started. Here's a pattern. I don't know if you can even pick up on this or not, but this is a pattern I can use on a pantograph machine. Here's a symbol. Let's see if I can get something better so this will show up. This is a pattern I made to put on the pantograph machine, and with this I was able to put in this spirit symbol at the bottom of the coin. I also put in my initials and the date. This wolf was also done with the pattern. It's perfectly smooth and flat. It's very advantageous to use a pantograph machine to do this. You just hand engrave a pattern and you're able to cut this in on the machine. And I can mount this chuck right over in another chuck that's in the machine. Everything else is done by hand. And that's about it for now, all I can think of. After I'm done, of course, I'll encapsulate it. Again, this project is a series of coins. It's a 5-ounce silver coin. It's 3 inches in diameter, and it's from the Beautiful series from the U.S. Mint. I was fortunate enough to be contacted by a customer who wanted this series done, and hopefully he'll enjoy this coin as much as I have done engraving it for him. And that's it.